Alright, so Merry Christmas and welcome to the desk for once. This is going to be a little bit of a preview of an upcoming thing because I guess I have become the lord of shuttles because now I have way too many of the damn things. And this one showed up at e-waste thanks to a buddy who was looking out for one, saw it, alerted me to it, and picked it up for me. And this is a TriCaster Pro 2.0 by NewTek, and I guess this means I now own something that is Amiga adjacent. So if I start to turn into an Amiga person, please put me out of my misery. Anyway, this is just a special shuttle. I've already taken it apart, gotten it running. I don't want to do any kind of content on it just yet because I don't know much about these, and I have tried to do some cursory research and have really come up with about nothing. So I need to ask around about it and do some deeper research. I have dumped the hard drive, so don't worry about that. The software has been backed up, so I'm not worried about losing it. I'm not releasing it publicly because I don't know if NewTek or its current owners or the current company, because I believe they rebranded, I don't know if they care about what is on here, so I would rather not risk that trouble. But the data is in fact safe, so don't worry about it. How I got this one running was I did swap the motherboard and power supply, because what originally came in this computer was a later Core 2 Duo motherboard with a standard shuttle power supply. Both of these had blown caps. Sadly, the power supply I did not know was blown until I went to go try it and give it the mic tech test, and smelled a very nasty odor. The power supply did run, so that's good at least, but yeah, the caps had all blown, and unfortunately, while I had the proper caps in stock, at least as far as voltage and capacitance, they are the improper dimensions, so I had to go place an order, and those will hopefully be here soon. It says they'll be here in the new year, so it's going to be a bit. So the parts in here are from my Windows XP shuttle, and, well, I want to get the new Windows XP shuttle running because I did take the board that was in here because it supports later Core 2 Duos, and I wanted to use that in my actual Windows XP shuttle, because this is not going to be a gaming computer for obvious reasons. So I wanted to give the superior spec motherboard to the computer that's actually going to be doing some heavy lifting. So I got the board up and running, at least I believe I have it up and running, but the power supply is toast for right now until I can recap it. I want to dig in here and grab the power supply out of here so I can get that system up and running, because it's unlikely I'm going to need this system anytime soon. So I'd rather just kind of let it wait now that I've verified that I've got it working. I also want to steal the cooler off of this system because it is beefier. The cooler that's in here was originally in the XP shuttle, and it is a fair bit beefier than the one that came in this very system that I transferred over to the XP shuttle. So I kind of want to transfer them back because I have big plans for the XP shuttle. So my mentality here is, well, let's pop this open together, do all that stuff together, and I can give you a look at the innards of the TriCaster Pro. So of course, because it is no more than a shuttle, it opens up much the same way. Get those out, and then the top just pops right off. And there we go, there's your TriCaster. And this is the NewTek card. It actually identifies itself to Windows as a video toaster, which is kind of funny. Again, NewTek is the company that made the video toaster, so it's not like out of the ordinary, but it's just kind of funny because video toaster, Amiga, hehehe. I could probably get the power supply out by just snaking it out, but if we look at the top here, the things that connect to the front panel, which as you can see is fairly bespoke, yeah, I don't really want to risk damaging those ribbon connectors. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pull the video toaster card out and just do it the safe way, not tangle on any of these, but maybe I could get it out the hard way. 4-pin floppy style connector off here. There's our power supply. And as you can see, it should come out relatively easily. And I believe maybe I'll get lucky here. Pull that through without disturbing the video toaster. Okay, that worked out a lot better than I thought it was going to. So So just deroute this cable. There we go. Once I unscrew it from the back, the power supply will pretty much just fall right out of the system. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. There you go. There's a power supply. This is why I have an MSI Mega PC. It is meant to be in this form factor. And I actively dread dealing with that poor thing because, yeah, it is not designed to be worked on very easily, unfortunately. And getting at critical components like the power supply is much harder on that machine than it was just there. So this leaves the cooler, which unfortunately I do think I'm going to have to take the video toaster out because I don't see a good way of accessing this. And on top of that, I think I'm going to have to remove the drive cage, which the ribbons run past it, so there's going to be no easy way to get that out without removing the video toaster. I guess we're doing this. So these two screws come out, and I believe this board does not have a PCIe retention, so this should just pop right out. This is a 7300 GS, fairly run-of-the-mill card. And then there's the video toaster, and this just takes ribbon connectors that just pop out just like that. And now, unfortunately, to get the video toaster out, because it is kind of held in by the drive cage, we have to pull the drive cage out. And this can get a little dicey because, again, fragile ribbon cables. But actually, I'm not going to move it. All I'm going to do is just shift this upwards enough. Lift the video toaster up and out. It's a lot more touchy than it needs to be. There we go. And there's the video toaster. Take a good long look at it. So now I can get this up and out of the way. I can flip these over the front. And there's the drive. And there's the motherboard from the first incarnation of the Windows XP Shuttle. This is a board out of an SS30G2, and it has a Core 2 Duo E4150, I want to say. Editing Exodium will correct if I am wrong on this, but it is one of the very first Core 2 Duos, and this chipset is more meant for Pentium 4s, so it's a really early Core 2 Duo, but it runs pretty okay. So, as you can see, this is a pretty beefy heatsink. It's got 4 heat pipes. The other one only has 3. It has a pretty beefy on-chip or on-CPU heatsink here, whereas the other one, as you will soon see, only has a little plate here. So, given I plan to run much higher power CPUs in the other system, I think this is going to be a better fit in the other system, and the mount points are the very same, so thankfully these will transfer across perfectly fine. And these are normally just finger tight, so I can grab these. Well, that one's not finger tight. Be very careful here too, because it is, as I have found, comically easy for your screwdriver to slip, and you'll have a bad time, just like that. And of course, you have one of them release fan. So I'm not going to repaste this because this thermal paste is relatively new. It's still got some moisture to it. The other heatsink has a bit of excess on it, so it should just work perfectly fine here. So since we're done here, let's get the other shuttle up on the bench. If you've been to VCF West last year, this shuttle may look a little familiar because it was on my table, and it is an awesome little piece of kit that I quite like, and it's what got me started in this madness of liking these little computers. This is originally the SS30G2, but it's not the same chassis that would have fit that board, but it was close enough, so it worked out. So, as you can see, we are lacking the power supply because it is currently the one that is missing its caps. So yeah, this has just been hastily put together to get it off my desk, and well, let's get it running again because I would like this machine running more so than the TriCaster right now. And because I've kind of walked you through everything already, I'm not going to bore you with doing the same thing over again. So we'll jump cut to the more interesting stuff. One of the things that sucks, though, is The frame on this shuttle took a bit of a hit in a previous life, and unfortunately, there's not much I can do about it because this shuttle is of a newer revision of this chassis, so it has a bigger back vent for newer CPUs, and I only have 2 of these chassis to go around. The other one is the TriCaster, so I don't want to mangle the TriCaster to repair this one. I have a few other shuttles that are all Pentium 4 era, but they have a much smaller back vent, so the fan will not screw onto the back vent, and it looks weird and probably affects airflow in a bad way, so I don't want to deal with that. So, as we can see though, kind of see what I'm talking about with that whole cooler thing, because right there, you can see it's just a flat piece of metal and 3 heat pipes going up to the back. So, that's why I want to replace it with this one. It's a lot beefier, and spoiler alert, I do plan to run a Core 2 quad in here at some point. Not sure when, but it does support Core 2 quads per Shuttle's own documentation. So if you give me the opportunity to go overkill, I'm going to absolutely take that opportunity. Also, again, as I say so often, per the teachings of one UXW Bill, if we have a floppy header, I'm going to make use of it, and we do here. Can't do it on the TriCaster for obvious reasons, but here, oh, you bet I'm going to do it. I just have to kind of mash this flat to get the power supply to fit, but I think that'll work. I'm going to go ahead and get the drive cage off so I can swap the cooler out, and then we will come back. Also, in case you were curious, I'm running a Quadro in this thing. So yeah, let's get everything taken out. I will do everything off camera and show you the end result. There we go. That looks a little more fit for purpose if we want to throw a better CPU in here at some point. I believe what we got in here currently is an E8400, which is a 3 GHz Core 2 Duo. I believe it's a Penryn chip, if I remember correctly. So one of the last Core 2 Duos you could get, and fairly awesome CPU if I remember correctly as well. Would work perfectly fine in here, but I do eventually want to go up to a Core 2 quad at some point. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. So at this point, let's get the power supply in, and yeah, that should hopefully go in fairly easily. So and now we just get the requisite connectors all connected up. I did test this board with an external power supply because thankfully these boards are just ATX and it worked. So at least it showed signs of life and the new capacitors didn't immediately blow up. I'm going to trust that we are good to go here. And okay. All right, there's the Windows XP shuttle buttoned up and good to go. Looking pretty good. I think this power supply can handle everything because, I mean, this power supply was rated for Prescott systems, and Prescott systems did run a fair bit toastier than Core 2 systems, so, I mean, I think we'll be okay. And our optical drive button works. Let's get the cover on it and see how badly Windows XP completely destroys itself. Alright, to make this a little more fun, you guys are going to join me on the first attempt to boot. Now, I am hopeful that Windows XP will handle this gracefully, because at least on the TriCaster, when I put in a new system board, XP didn't automatically completely eat itself. It started back up, installed the drivers, and we were off to the races. So let's see what happens. Fans are running at max speed, but I did replace the CMOS battery, so I do expect some shenanigans. Hopefully it'll come around. I know the SS30G2 needed some, yep, there it goes. Nice. Fans are still running, so, yeah, that's what I want. Everything is coming up. We have the, yeah, everything's looking good. E8400. F1 to go into setup. Or, oops, I just had to continue. I need to set the fan profile, probably. Come on, Windows XP, I believe in you. It looks like we're gonna boot. And it's probably gonna... No, it's not gonna deactivate. Neat. It actually worked. Apologizing for any weird color shifting here. I'm trying to get my iPhone to stop blowing out the color. But now we're gonna just reinstall all of our devices, and Here's hoping. I mean, we did get to desktop, so that's better than I was expecting. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just pause the video for now, and we'll come back when it's done. Okay, everything finally installed. We are still missing some devices, obviously because we changed everything over, but it is functioning, so that's good. Let's go ahead and give it a restart so I can get into BIOS, hopefully, and turn the fan down. Alright, let's get everything set up here. Do have a 3.5-inch drive of the 1.44 meg variety. Sure, why not, for the nostalgia. And the other thing I want to turn off here is onboard device, high definition audio. We are going to disable that because we have a sound blaster. Just like that. There's our floppy drive. And I just picked a random floppy up off my desk, so maybe there's something wrong with it. But yeah, that's the machine for right now. It's working! And everything is fast, oh my god. Because that little first-gen Core 2 Duo was not very happy with SP3, but this, it is running and running fairly well. So yeah, I gotta get this thing all set up and get it the proper drivers installed, but thank you for joining me on this, and I'm gonna rebuild the TriCaster off camera because, like the iFixit guides say, I'm not gonna go through the whole process of putting it back together. I'm just gonna tell you at the end, oh, it just goes back together how it came apart. So if you like this video, please feel free to do the engagement things, and I will see you next time, and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.